It happened one weekend evening when my wife, Sarah, invited her best friend, Rachel, over for dinner. I had never really liked Rachel much, but I tried to be polite for Sarah's sake. Rachel had a sharp tongue and no filter, and more than once, she had made comments that made me uncomfortable. But this time it went too far. As soon as Rachel walked through the door, she started criticizing everything, from how the house was decorated to how I was dressed. I chuckled awkwardly at first, thinking maybe she was joking, but her tone wasn't playful. It was mean. During dinner, Rachel made a comment about how I was lucky Sarah settled for someone so plain. I paused, stunned. The table went quiet for a second. I looked at Sarah, expecting her to step in and say something, but instead, she laughed and said, "Oh, come on. That's just the way Rachel is. You know she doesn't mean it." That hurt more than Rachel's words. My wife, the woman who promised to stand by me, was brushing off her friend's insults like they were harmless jokes. After dinner, I pulled Sarah aside and told her how I felt. I explained that I didn't appreciate being disrespected in my own home and that Rachel had crossed a line. Sarah looked at me with a mix of confusion and frustration. "She didn't mean it like that," she said again. "You always take things too seriously. Rachel just speaks her mind." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Was it really okay to insult someone as long as you did it bluntly? Over the next few days, I grew distant. I couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal, not just from Rachel, but from Sarah. I kept replaying her words in my head. "That's just the way she is." As if that excused everything. I started to question how much Sarah really respected me. Was I just a background character in her life? Someone to tolerate rather than value? The tension grew between us. I stopped trying to talk about it because it was clear she didn't want to hear it. Every time I brought it up, she'd roll her eyes and say I was overreacting. I started to avoid being home when I knew Rachel might visit. I couldn't stand being around someone who treated me like that. And even worse, I couldn't stand the fact that my wife let her. Things got worse when Rachel started texting Sarah about me. I saw a message flash on Sarah's phone one evening. "Your husband always looks so miserable. What's his problem?" Sarah didn't say anything, didn't defend me. She just replied with a laughing emoji. That crushed me. I felt like I was being mocked behind my back, and Sarah was joining in. One night, I finally snapped. I told Sarah I couldn't live like this anymore, that it wasn't about Rachel anymore. It was about her, about how she prioritized her toxic friendship over our marriage. She looked genuinely shocked. "You're making me choose?" she asked, as if that was the most unreasonable thing I could do. I didn't answer. I just walked out for some air. When I returned, she was waiting for me, quiet and pale. "I didn't realize it meant that much to you," she said softly. "Rachel's been my friend since college. I guess I just got used to the way she talks." I told her that didn't make it right, that letting someone else put me down wasn't loyalty. It was disrespect. We had a long, hard conversation that night. She apologized, really apologized for the first time, not just for Rachel, but for making me feel like my feelings didn't matter. She agreed that Rachel had gone too far and promised to set some boundaries. It didn't fix everything overnight, but it was a start. Sarah slowly began distancing herself from Rachel, or at least not bringing her around me. And for the first time in a long while, I felt like my voice mattered in our marriage again. It took a while to rebuild the trust that had been cracked, but we worked on it. We started spending more time together, just the two of us, talking honestly, rebuilding the foundation that had started to shake. Rachel never apologized, and I didn't expect her to. Some people never change. But Sarah did, and that was enough. Because in the end, I wasn't asking for perfection. I was just asking to be respected and heard.